Aloha. Yay, nice to see everybody. Okay, well, we just flipped the 5 o'clock mark and I want to get started so Chef Alyssa has as much time as possible.
Okay.
So welcome everybody to our culinary medicine class this evening. We're really happy to have you here. You're in the right place. Don't worry, I'm just going to have this PowerPoint up for a little bit in the beginning. I will take it down and you will have Chef Alyssa's, cooking screen as front and center so we'll be able to see everything that she is doing. Before we get started, just want to go over a couple of housekeeping things. It's a big class, so we muted all of your microphones. So please ask your questions through the chat. So feel free to warm up your fingers, say hi. We'd love to hear, of course, if you've been trying any of Chef's recipes from her previous classes. But we'll be watching that and bringing your questions forward as time allows. So I think that's everything there. And just as by way of introduction, right, with the people that are here, we have Allison Welch. She's our amazing wellness coach over on the Big Island who survived her storm. Yeah, yesterday. We're glad she's safe and has power. So thank you for being here, Allison. We've got our amazing Chef Alyssa, a personal chef with over 25 years of experience. She's going to be sharing all of her knowledge about good nutrition and flavor and just bringing us some really healthy vegetarian meals. So we're really excited to have her continue to be with us. I think it's like your third year now, right, Alyssa? So we're very lucky. And then you have myself. So my name's Heather Charles. I'm a wellness coach over on the island of Maui. So again, Allison and I will be monitoring the chat and kind of emceeing as we go along with chef cooking today. And we want to start off just by acknowledging why do we want to eat this whole food plant-based diet to begin with, right? Why are we all here even attempting to learn what to do with our vegetables? Well, in addition to cutting your carbon footprint in half, it's also the only diet shown to prevent and reverse diseases such as type 2 diabetes and coronary artery disease. That is a big deal, right? Preventing and reversing disease. So food can be medicine. But what is a whole food plant-based diet? Well, it really celebrates food in its most natural form, closest to the way it was grown. So this includes fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds. I always say things that our ancestors would recognize as food, right? They probably wouldn't recognize what a box of Cheez-Its is, right? But if it grows out of the ground, they're going to know what it is. So it really minimizes our processed foods, right? The packaged foods, refined sugars, the white flour, and animal-derived foods. Now, we get that we might be eating a certain way for a really long time, so it might feel a little daunting to change your eating style. That's why we have these wonderful phrases up here on the screen. These are coined by Michael Pollan. He's an American author and journalist. He's written lots of books about food and health, and he came up with this phrase, which is eat food, not too much, and mostly plants. So I think they makes it pretty simple and sums it up very nicely. Now, while most of us grew up knowing vegetables are good for us, we should eat them, most of us also have that mindset that it's a chore to eat them, right? We don't like them and they've not been really presented as being delicious. So we hope to shift that mindset and open you up to a new way of experiencing healthy food because we want to love the food that's going to love us back. Now, we're going to be sharing some information with you today. If you want to add on to that, we encourage you to check out this video series that Stanford School of Medicine put together in 2016 called Food and Health. I'm going to put the link here in the chat so you can access that. Hopefully that comes through okay. These are just short videos. There are about 17 of them. They range in 3 to 5 minutes, and they build off of what we're talking about today. Just really practical skills and information that demonstrate how we can be more empowered with our food choices and more creative. Now, you guys got some handouts in your welcome email. One of them was this plant-based healthy plate. I just want to touch on this briefly. You notice that half the plate is vegetables, and it makes that plate look beautiful and inviting and colorful. And that's the main takeaway. When you look down at your plate, you want it to look beautiful and inviting and colorful as well. You also notice on the left-hand side, there's beans there. So that's our protein. So in this class, we're focusing on plant nut-based proteins. Those are things like beans, lentils, or tofu. So that's what we'll be using for protein. But if you do want to check out specifics around this concept of healthy plate, we do have a separate virtual 90-minute class taught by one of our registered dietitians called Get Your Plate in Shape. And that will explore lots of different meals in this format. And I can share more about that at the end today. So let's get into the recipes that Chef will be covering. I'm going to be going over each of them, or I'll pull them up. She will be going over it, right? So you can review the ingredients. Want to remind you that in your email invitation to join class, it also includes links to these recipes. John already put them into the chat as well. You can pull them up there, or you can just take a screenshot of them when they come up on your screen. Also want to just acknowledge that there's probably a range of people attending tonight. Some of you, maybe it's your first time here. Others of you maybe have been with us for several classes over a year or more. So we just want to acknowledge there's a wide spectrum of people, and we want to support you with the knowledge and resources to move in the direction and at the pace that you choose. That means that these recipes can be adaptable to your personal tastes and preferences. Again, as we go along, if you need substitution ideas or just have questions, maybe you're not familiar with the product, just put it into the chat and we'll be able to ask those questions. And ultimately, we hope you'll be inspired and prioritize your home cooking a little bit more often. So congratulate yourself for being here today. Let's go ahead and step in. Here's what it looks like in the registration email. And I put a little arrow, so you should see the 3 recipes we're doing today: the savory roasted vegetables, sweet onion dressing, and 2 bean salad with herb dressing. So Chef, I'm going to pass this over to you, and you can review each of these recipes before I take them down, and we'll highlight the cooking.
All right, sounds good. So we're going to start with the savory roasted vegetables. And this is a fun recipe because you can really just use whatever you have in the house, in your drawer that maybe you want to use up. You can combine them all. Sometimes we can talk about it a little bit later about the types of vegetables. Some you might want to slice thinner than others, or maybe do a quick steam beforehand, but we'll go into that later. So the savory roasted vegetables is chopped up vegetables. We're going to toss it with a marinade. So there's garlic, there's olive oil, there's shoyu or brags, some sort of vinegar. We're going to use balsamic vinegar today. Mirin, which is a Japanese, like a rice wine, or maple syrup. Today we're using maple syrup. And then some fresh herbs and garlic. And then we're just going to toss it all together, and we are going to cook it in the oven. So that's the first recipe.
Love it. And I like how this is adaptable because you can choose whichever vegetables you like, right? So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And here we got the recipe for the 2 bean salad with herb dressing.
Okay, so the 2 bean salad starts off, the base is some steamed, lightly cooked green beans. And then we're going to add in a whole bunch of really delicious vegetables and flavorings. We've got chickpeas, we've got cherry tomatoes, we've got red onion, we've got black olives, and we have, what else did I, oh, fresh parsley and artichoke hearts, marinated artichoke hearts. So it's really flavorful. And then that one has, this salad has a dressing too. So I combined that all together. Similar, it's got a little bit of mustard in it, so it's a little different. Fresh herbs, olive oil, balsamic, and a little bit of maple syrup and garlic. So we're going to toss that all together and put it on a bed of lettuce. And so, yeah, that one is nice and simple too. Just got to
Yeah, look how colorful that one is, and how much can you fit into one salad, right? That looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, and then our last recipe for today is actually a dressing.
Yeah, we're going to make a blended sweet onion dressing, and then talk about different variations for that, how you can kind of change it out a bit. So it's a nice base recipe, and it goes with a lot of different salads.
Delicious. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and take this PowerPoint down, and we should be
Okay.
highlighting your screen next
There
with the
you
bowl
go.
and the veggies, which already looks colorful, so I know we're moving in the right direction.
And
All
hopefully
right.
you guys just chat in. That should be in the center of your computer. It should be now spotlighted for everyone. Hope you can all
All
see it.
right.
Let us know you
Yeah.
can see it.
Okay, so today we're going to be using what I chopped up. So I just wanted to show you in the middle. I have a butternut squash. So this is the butternut squash I cut into chunks. I have some onion. I have some button mushrooms. I have some thinly sliced carrot. They're a little thinner than everything else. I've got red bell pepper and zucchini. So again, you can really just use whatever you like. Of course, hopefully you have what you like in your fridge or whatever is available and that you want to use up. The one caveat just that I wanted to share is that if you're going to do root vegetables, which are delicious in roasted vegetables like beets or yams or potatoes, you might want to steam them a little bit, like pre-cook them a little bit if you're going to toss them with things like, that are going to cook quicker, like the onions and mushrooms and zucchini and bell peppers. The butternut squash actually cooks pretty quick. Then that's why I slice the carrots kind of thin so that they go with the cooking range is about the same time. So I did that last time I made the roasted vegetables. I had some beets and I steamed them just a little bit ahead of time, just so that they would all cook evenly with the rest of the ingredients. And that was really delicious. So just something to think about. And the smaller you chop your vegetables, the quicker they will cook. So hopefully those are some good guidelines to start with. So I'm going to put everything in a bowl. This is 4 cups of chopped vegetables. And you can just toss this together with all the rest of the ingredients. So I have some coarsely mashed chopped garlic. You can even, if you really like lots of garlic, you could just put some whole peeled garlic in there. This is just a template, so you can really doctor this up however you'd like. I got a little bit of olive oil. I'm going to drizzle over all these ingredients. I have some tamari, which is a little like a stronger kind of a tofu. Shoyu. It's a little it's a little stronger in flavor. It's also gluten-free. I have some maple syrup, sweetener. I have your balsamic vinegar. You could also use apple cider vinegar if that's easier for you, what you have in your house. I have some dried herbs. So this is oregano, whatever you have in the house. You could do Italian seasoning, you could do thyme, you could do, whatever, dried basil, you could do that. And then I happen to have some rosemary and some fresh oregano. So I'm going to just toss that in. And lastly, I have a little bit of salt and pepper. So I'm just going to put my salt and pepper over. Toss that well so that it coats all the vegetables. You can see this is pretty simple. And then I'm going to put it on a baking sheet. I put here 9 by 13, but you could actually do what I have here is a half sheet pan. If you double this recipe, you might need a 9 by 13. What you really want to do is whatever your baking dish is, you want it will cook evenly, more evenly, if that's proper English, if you kind of have it in a layer, a flat layer. I'm just going to kind of pat that down. And I'm going to put this in the oven. Anybody have any questions? Pretty simple.
Looks great.
Good.
Just want to double check everyone else can see everything in the center. We're just having a couple people or a couple technical difficulties.
that
Mary,
help?
yeah, no, it looks beautiful. I just want to make sure everyone
Okay.
sees it. Mary, you might want to log out and back in, and that might get you to see this gorgeous food. But everyone else, if you can see this food, and just chat in yes for me. Want to make sure I've spotlighted this right for everyone. Fantastic. Sorry, Mary. So maybe log back in and out.
All
Thanks.
right.
Sorry to interrupt the flow.
Yeah, I'm just going to put this in the oven. And upon instruction, I am trying this with on the air fry mode. So we'll see how that turns out.
We did have a question.
Yes.
We have a question. How often do you stir the veggies while they cook?
I actually didn't stir it this last time. You can open it up and give it a little stir, but it did really well just cooking through. I had it for 25 minutes. I think it also depends upon the type of vegetables and the size. So just keep an eye on it and just do what you feel. If it looks like it needs a little stir to kind of help with the cooking. I have mine in a like a smart oven, kind of a smaller oven. Yeah, I just kind of go with what you think. Sorry, I don't mean to be vague. It's just kind of depends on how it looks. This is the final product. Just wanted to show you that I cooked up before class. So you can see it's well coated and roasted. It did shrink down in size. Just want you to know. The vegetables do cook down. And that also kind of depends on what you choose for your vegetables. So this is a nice finished product. And I have a little fresh herbs to put on our final product when it comes out of the oven. So I'll check that in about 15 minutes, see how it's going with the air fryer mode.
Yeah, I love that we have different options for cooking, whether you have the oven or you want the air fryer. If you have one of those at home, it just kind of saves you from having to maybe heat up the whole house, and uses a little bit less electricity if you're budget conscious, and takes a little less time.
Yes,
Well, I also love the sheet pan cooking one thing, and if you have parchment paper, and then it's just such easy cleanup.
Clean up, right? You just pull it out, and
yeah,
you could make a big batch of that and have it for the week.
Yes,
that's
definitely.
what I do.
And I like that idea you were talking about putting inside of a taco. That sounded good.
Oh, so good.
Okay, so I'm going to get a bowl. We're going to, that looks kind of small. I'm going to get a bowl to do our salad in. I'm going to bring back the blue bowl. There we go.
All right, and this is going to be the 2-bean salad with herb dressing recipe.
Yes.
And I'm going to do a little producing, and I'm going to have you push the bowl a little. There you go. I can't help it. There we go. Perfect.
I see what you're saying there. Okay. So this is the main thing that this recipe needs is you just need to lightly steam or blanch your green beans. And it calls for 2 cups of green beans cut into 1-inch pieces. And so I got a bag of local green beans from Foodland, and I cut them up like this, and then I just cooked them. I steamed them for about 4 minutes, or however you like them cooked, and then cooled them down. So, and then last night I soaked some dried chickpeas, so I actually pressure cooked some chickpeas this morning. That was just me.
So you could also use a can of chickpeas at the same time.
Chickpeas, rinsed and drained. You could, I have black olives. You could do Kalamata or just regular black. And actually, maybe I'm a little odd, but I like regular black olives more than Kalamata. So not that I'm going to be eating this, just me, but I chose black olives. Some cherry tomatoes that are cut in half. some thinly sliced red onion, which I rinsed a little bit, so kind of can cut the bite of raw onion. Marinated artichoke hearts that I've chopped coarsely, kind of big chunks.
Can I just ask you to repeat that? I think that's such a great tip that I didn't know. So with the red onions, if you just rinse them in cold water, how, or just quickly, can you say that one more
Yeah,
time?
you can, it just takes away the bite of the onion. So it doesn't have, it's not as much of an aftertaste. You could put it in a fine mesh strainer. You can literally just put it in your hand and run that under cold water and dry it with a paper towel, you know, whatever works. But it will just kind of make it a little milder.
Such a great tip. Got a
Does
question
that
if
work
you
for
could,
every onion or
Yep.
just the red onion? Yeah.
Nope, every onion. Yeah. And then I have some fresh flat leaf parsley. And I'm just, then I put together the dressing in here, which is balsamic, Dijon mustard, olive oil, maple syrup, some minced garlic, fresh garlic, salt and pepper, and some fresh herbs that I had. So I have like oregano and thyme in here today. So pretty much you just toss all this together, add the dressing, and you can serve it on a bed of lettuce. It's also nice if you kind of let it sit for a bit and the flavors kind of infuse together. So you've got your green beans, your chickpeas, cherry tomatoes, black olives, red onion, or it could be sweet onion. The reddish is a nice color. Marinated artichoke hearts that I've chopped up a bit. Fresh parsley. You could also add fresh basil in here. That would be really nice. You could add fresh dill, more thyme. I mean, you could play with your herbs, what you choose to put in. I'm just going to toss it a bit. You can see how colorful it is.
I think
Especially
what's
against that bright
nice,
blue bowl.
exactly. And I was going to say, you
Yeah.
know, sometimes we think, oh, it's so easy, but we get a little fear of what do we toss together? And I think as you do this more, you're going to find the combinations that you like. So I just love it. Look at all these vegetables.
Now, I'm not going to put all the dressing at once because I kind of want to see. Some people like their salads lightly dressed. Want to see what it looks like. But you can always add more, you know, when you're going to serve. Yeah, that looks well coated to me. So again, you know, recipes are just guidelines. So, you know, use your intuition, watch what you're doing and see how does it look to you, make the decision. Let me
Might
see.
have you put that more in the center for we can see it front and center again.
I will.
That's great. Perfect. Look at that.
Okay, I'm going to take
You get a
my
good
bowl
photo.
and just going to plate this. Wait, excuse me. Yum.
I thought it looked great in the bowl. Look at you making it even better. That's why she's the chef. I was ready to just have it just like that. Look at that. I always forget how nice it is, you know, when you put things on lettuce. You do that a lot and it's such a nice, it looks so fantastic.
Probably with that, my green bottom, it doesn't, not as much contrast with my green tablecloth. Huh?
What is it, Heather? You eat with your eyes first? Or...
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
look
that
at
looks
that.
beautiful. Lots of protein, got good fiber in there, lots of different color. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we had a question. Can you use other beans?
Yes, you can. You can use whatever you like. Cannellini beans would be nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a little fresh cracked pepper on here. Yeah, cannellini. Yeah, whatever's your favorite bean.
Ooh, what about edamame? That's a good idea too,
Edamame,
Justin.
that would be,
Edamame.
yeah, very nice.
Sure.
Different textures. That's great.
Yeah, so that is a nice, simple, and it makes quite a bit. Yeah, so you could have that for a couple lunches or a nice potluck. Take it to a party. That would be kind of nice, something different. Still kind of warm weather. This would be a great cold salad to have. Main course or on the side.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Looks delicious.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions? Let's see, Rhonda, we'll check on that. We can get that to you maybe by the end of class.
And then
That's a
also,
snack bar recipe.
what I like about kind of what you said, I think it's really important, is that just like, think about with our dressing, start light. Because, I was a saucy girl. I like things that way. But it's amazing when you have all these great vegetables, you don't need so much sometimes. So start small, like you were saying, you can start, you can always add. It's hard to take it away when you, unless you drain. So,
Definitely.
yeah.
So you can, so I'll have that on the side. And sometimes as it marinates and absorbs in, it might need a little drizzle or just before serving. So just kind of cover your lettuce a little bit too. So something to think about.
Perfect. Any questions on that, you guys?
All right. Well then, we're moving along, aren't we?
That's all right. This is what we want to see. Make a dressing. And then this is the thing. We have a chef with us. We can ask any questions if there's something that comes up, something you think about, and the joy of how you might use these.
So the Maui onion, well, it can be Maui onion if you have Maui onion. It could be sweet onion. So I have some chopped sweet onion. I've got a little bit of sugar. I've got dry mustard and sweet mustard. I have rice vinegar. I have avocado oil, salt and pepper. And I have a little bit of silken tofu. If you want to use tofu, this would be the one that I would use for this. It doesn't have to be firm, but this Mori new silken tofu, or just any silken tofu, I mean, you could use regular tofu, but it's going to have a stronger flavor or a more prominent flavor than this box tofu. But
we did have a couple questions come in too, Chef. So one of them was related to the last one. It was, how long can you keep it in the ice box? So how long would you recommend keeping that last one in the fridge?
Oh my gosh. I'd say probably a good 3-4 days, until things get a little too soft with the marinade. Hopefully it would get eaten.
And then somebody else had a question, and I don't know if you want to address this now or after this, but any tips for making chickpeas from the bag? So dried chickpeas, how you want to cook them. So I'll let you work that in wherever you see best.
Okay, we can remind me, we'll do that after the dressing. How's that? We can talk about the chickpeas. If I forget. Hopefully I won't forget. So I'll just move forward with the dressing, and then I'll show you the chickpeas that I use, that I soak up. And I'm happy to talk that through.
Great.
Okay. So I just put all of this in the blender. And I want to, let me get just a spoon. I'm going to just put my, excuse me, you want this in the middle, right? Chopped onions, it can be coarsely chopped because you're going to blend it all. I have wet mustard and I have dry mustard. And one of the benefits of dry mustard is it helps to emulsify salad dressings. One of the wonderful things that it does. And then I have sugar. You can adjust this as you like. This is 2 tablespoons of sugar. And then I have avocado oil. And the silken tofu I'm going to put in. It makes it, it also adds a creaminess. And, but you don't have to. This is, you know, we had a couple of recipes in some previous classes where we've used silken tofu. So it's kind of a great way to, if you've got an extra part of a box of silken tofu, you can put it in things like this. You can make a salad dressing creamy. So I'm going to put in the silken tofu. You want to drop down maybe your oil, you can do that.
And did you, how much tofu did you put in there, since it wasn't on the original recipe? I just want to put it in the chat.
I just did a couple spoonfuls.
Okay.
Yeah.
And somebody was asking, where do you find that boxed tofu?
You can buy it in any of the Asian aisles in the grocery stores, Foodland, you know, where they sell things like toasted sesame oil and shoyu and rice noodles, soba noodles. You'll find the boxed tofu there. Sometimes they sell it in the refrigerated section, like at Times Supermarket. I noticed it's in the refrigerated section by the fresh tofu. So it kind of depends upon where you shop. Whole Foods, it's just in the Asian area aisle. Safeway, yeah, it just depends on the store. So if you don't see it, maybe ask a clerk. But what's really great is Long's CVS. It goes on sale like every couple of months, and so it's $2 a box. And this stuff is shelf stable, and I always look at the expiration date when I buy it. Sometimes when it goes on sale, it kind of has a date close to you know, the current date. But this one was good till April of next year. So you can have this in the cupboard, kind of as a backup. It's really nice to have around.
Well, I so appreciate that you're giving us this, you know, like kind of how else to use it, because I was new to this sort of silken tofu. I always do the firm or the soft, and so I got it to try our pudding. And you know, you do have a little extra, and I'm all, how do I do it? So I'm so excited to see that you can really make things a little creamy.
And you know, oh.
No, I was going to say, we had this question before, and I think you could answer it. Can you use any tofu with this? So, Chef, you might want to answer that.
I personally probably wouldn't, but I mean, you could try. It depends on the brand. Silken tofu is really pretty mild in flavor. You could try. You know, I usually just love to cook my regular tofu, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it, really. It just depends. Sometimes those different brands taste different. You can give it a go and see what you think. I think that's the best way to answer it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
We all have a different preference for consistency, but the silken tofu is really, if you haven't tried it, try it. Because I was the one who'd never tried it before, because I thought soft tofu, that's close enough. It's so different.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
And
the joy experiment.
It depends upon how strong your blender is. You know, sometimes regular tofu, it might not blend enough, and it might be kind of chunky in there, depending upon what type of blender you have. So there's a lot of variables, and I'm not trying to say straight no. It's just, you know, there could be a little more challenges that you come across. But yeah, you're more than welcome to give it a go, and then let me know next time your feedback. So I have in my hand rice vinegar. So I'm going to put that in. And I have some salt and pepper, so I'm going to put that in. And I'm going to blend it, and I will be right back, okay? My blender's in the kitchen. Give me a sec.
I like when a recipe is simple. You just put it in the blender and then you just push, right? You blend it all up and you're done.
Exactly. We're making it easy, a sheet pan for easy
Right,
cleanup of
clean
the,
up.
that's
Mm-hmm.
right. It's like we're going to see the magic appear. Yeah, that's the thing. You really can. That's why also, that's what we were talking about, the idea of putting silken tofu. It just, you gets this creamy texture. And that's why we had asked Chef. She said, oh, remind me when we do dressings and I'll add this in a dressing class.
Yeah, you
So
can see how creamy it looks right there.
Yeah, and oh, here it is. Okay. I'm like, I had a picture out. And so, well, I'm going to first pour it in so you can see how nice and creamy it is. And then talk it through a little bit. My vegetables just finished air frying, so we can also see what's going on there. So what's fun about this recipe is you could, this past weekend I made it and I added celery seed. So you can do something like celery seed in there. I would probably add it in after, or you could do poppy seeds. You could add little poppy seeds to make like a kind of a sweet onion poppy seed dressing. That's another option. I had mentioned that I had also, just to kind of bulk it out, because I was cooking for a crowd this weekend, I had some leftover tomato and cucumber. So I blended that in too, and it turned into kind of like a creamy tomato dressing, almost like a Thousand Island without the relish, So that was delightful too. You could add fresh herbs in here, blend it in. If you did the tomato, you could add some basil in there and kind of make it like a creamy Italian dressing, French dressing, you could kind of go that route. So just something to think about, that you could really play with this, use this as a base, and then play with the flavor profiles from there. Oh, and the last thing I wanted to say is I made a slaw with it. So I just shredded the cabbage up really fine with some carrots, and then I used this as a slaw dressing, and that was really good. That was really tasty. If you want
Fantastic.
to, like, you don't have a sweet onion and you just have regular onion, you could do what I talked about before, is you could rinse your onion, kind of take away a little bit of that bite, and then blend it in. So that could be an option too.
That's great. And we do have, since we have you, Chef, and we had a good question. A lot of times we get stumped with this idea of salad dressings, right? So someone said,
Mhm.
could you provide other tips on how to make dressings? And, sometimes we think, is it supposed to be like the ratio of the oil to the vinegar? If you have any
Yeah.
other tips too about when you're making dressings for
Oh
different
gosh,
things. Yeah.
I never buy salad dressing, so I'm always just kind of winging it. But I usually do, and I know. Is it Heather? I'm trying to remember. Is it
Hmm.
Heather or Allison really likes vinegar? One of you, or do you both do like vinegar?
I love vinegar.
Yeah. See, I'm not as much of a vinegar person, or that. So it's my ratio when I do a salad dressing is usually like a third of a cup of vinegar to a half a cup of oil, or a fourth a cup of vinegar to a third a cup of oil. So maybe just a little bit less. And then maybe just something salty and sweet, just to kind of balance it out. And I just go from there and try and get, it well emulsified or blend it. I tend to use things like cucumbers, seeded skinned cucumber, or like I said, a tomato, or what else do I do to really kind of make the salad dressing thicker if you don't want to use a lot of oil. I will just throw things in there.
And
Cilantro
blend it?
stem.
Like, can
Yeah,
you go back with that? So
blend it.
like with the tomato, do you take the seeds out and cut it up and put it in?
Well,
And
I just
wow.
I just chop it up and put it in, and it's great. So that's kind of one way. Instead of like keep adding oil, you can add things like almond butter, tahini, that bulks it up. A little bit of miso makes a great flavoring. Um, yeah, I just play. I really do. I just play to get, you could add ginger and garlic and, go down that route, make it Asian. Yeah.
But I like
So
that idea of being able to thicken without oil because we often like if we get it wrong, then we add more oil and
right.
and we
Yeah.
keep
Oh,
doing too much where you can just then it gets just,
yeah.
yeah,
And
that's
of
great.
course, you could add
Cucumber.
avocado. It's going to change your texture, but you could add a little bit of avocado. You don't have to add a whole avocado, but you can add avocado to really kind of make it creamy. Sometimes if you add a whole avocado, it can be kind of thick, but if you don't mind, that's fine too, right? Instead of refined oil.
Yeah. We have another question for you. Have you tried making dressing completely without oil?
Uh, yeah, yeah. I use things like tahini or avocado. I have done. Yeah. Do I have it right here? Hold on. I've got this one dressing.
Yeah,
A
cashews are
creamy.
good too. You can soak
What?
soak the
Oh
cashews,
yeah, I do
soak cashews
cashews. I
overnight,
do.
and
Yeah,
that makes
I
it
do.
creamy. Yep.
I do cashews a lot. Thank you. Or not even overnight. I just pour hot water over cashews, let them sit for like 5 minutes, and then but I'm using a high-speed blender, and then I add it in. Yeah, cashews. Even like I don't know if anybody shops at Costco, but they have like those salted mixed nut mix, and they'll have like a bunch of Brazil nuts in there, and some people don't eat Brazil nuts. They're great blended into a salad dressing. You don't know what to do with your Brazil nuts and
And they're
the
so
salted
good
nut
for
mix.
you. Brazil nuts have
Yeah,
lots of nutrition. Yep.
yes. It's just I have read that, I don't know, that maybe you're not supposed to have more than a few a day. Maybe I'm wrong in that. I just, the selenium, but yeah. So I'm not a big cashew fan in that nut mix, so I use those for the blending. I'll soak up the cashews for the blending or give them to my mom. But yeah, so this one is a recipe that's calling for cucumber and tahini. You could add some soaked cashews in there, blend it up, some sort of a vinegar or tart. This one's calling for fresh lemon, miso or salt, garlic. Again, you can blend in some onion and then some herbs. So you can really, really play. But thank you for reminding me about the cashews. That's wonderful.
We got another great idea from one of our participants, plain Greek yogurt, Dijon mustard, and balsamic vinegar.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Hmm.
And if you don't do dairy, you could do a coconut yogurt, a different non-dairy yogurt. That would work. Yeah.
I think it's
And
kind of
then,
like your roasted vegetables, right? Like you guys can have an idea, look at a recipe, and then you start just tasting. Maybe you like carrots more than other potato, try different things. Same with your dressings.
yeah,
Get
thank you
creative.
for reminding me. I do blend carrots into a dressing too, depending upon my blender. Oftentimes I will just cook up some carrots and drain it, and then I will blend the carrots with like cumin and cashews and fresh herbs and make like a really nice carrot salad dressing. A rice vinegar, a little bit of a sweetener. So carrots are a great way to make a oil-free dressing.
And they add a nice sweetness, a nice, really natural sweetness.
And a
Dill.
nice color, of course, right?
Exactly,
Ah,
vibrant. Wow, are we all getting
Uh,
excited to
I
try to make
know.
salad
I'm
dressings?
excited. Well, and
I can't wait
when
to
you go to
try
the
this
store,
coleslaw.
it's like $7, $9, right, for a bottle
Ah,
of dressing. It's
I
super
know.
expensive. And so just these great ideas of things that we can maybe use within our own fridge or pantry. Um, yeah, not only better for us, but also saves in the budget too.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It seems like these butternuts are still crunchy. Let me double check. Uh, yeah, and a lot of times those salad dressings, the quality of the oils they use aren't that great. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I try and use good. If I'm going to use oil, I'd like to use a good quality oil, not like I don't know. Because we all have different what we like as far as our oils.
Those look nice. I think the thing I like so much about grilled vegetables too is
Mhm,
they taste good warm, they taste good cold. I mean,
mhm.
just can't go wrong.
No, they are good. I think it's good, but I think I'll do a few more minutes for the butternut, but it's delicious. I'll put that back in.
Great. Well, now you know it works in the air fryer too.
Yeah, that was a good test. So what did I
Yeah.
do? I did 15 minutes, so I'll do a little bit more.
Well, fantastic. While she's kind of warming that up, I don't know if we have anything else, Heather, you could also bring up, we can kind
Well,
of
there were
go,
the
yeah.
chickpeas. Remember
Oh,
somebody wanted to know
chickpeas.
about the chickpeas,
Oh,
how
yeah,
to prepare
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
So let me show you what I, Dr. June actually was the one that told me about this brand. She had given me some to try, and it's from this farm in Washington, Palouse brand, Washington. It's a like seventh generation family um, owned farm, and they have really nice lentils. Um, what did I get? I got some fresh flour actually, and I got these brown lentils. Those are the ones that she told me about. They're actually the red lentils with the skins on. But so I get these 5-pound bags of dried lentils, and they soak up so nice and soft because I've been noticing that the lentils in the grocery store, the canned ones, are kind of crunchy and small lately.
Hmm. I've noticed
So
that too. Yeah.
yeah, so I soaked them up. Let me show you. And I cooked them in the Instant Pot this morning, and they're so fat and plump. I don't know if you can tell, but they're really fat and plump. Let me see if I can push. I soaked them overnight. Let's see if I can do this. It kind of shows you that they're the
Yeah, it's like
very, and
triple the size.
yeah, yeah, and they are really soft. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I've
that was really,
always wanted to make them. I've always just used them from a
Yeah,
can
me
because
too.
yeah, so it's kind of that's great.
So you soak them, but you soak them in a pressure cooker. You're not just soaking them in water.
no, I soaked them in water overnight, then I drain it, and then
Mm.
I put it in the Instant Pot because I find that the Instant Pot cooks better than my pressure cooker. Um, it could be my pressure cooker at this point. It's kind of an old workhorse, but I still love it. Um, and yeah, so in the Instant Pot, it's 45 minutes to get to that texture. And yeah, it doesn't make any noise. It just does its thing, and it's just wonderful. And then I freeze the leftovers. And actually, I think I'm going to make some hummus with that because I haven't had hummus in a while. So I'll probably blend up that in my food processor. But whatever left over. And then the other thing that I did was I soaked too much for my Instant Pot. So I drained my soaked chickpeas. I transferred what I couldn't cook in my Instant Pot into a Ziploc bag and put that in the freezer. So you can either freeze your cooked chickpeas that are extra, or you can freeze your soaked chickpeas that you can then cook, next time when you're ready to cook chickpeas. So there's little variations on what you can do. You can be one step ahead, right? You can have them pre-soaked, just not cooked yet. Um, so that's something to think about. But yeah, I like this brand. Thank you, Dr. Jun. And these are like my favorite lentils with the little brown skin on them. They're beautiful. So they
So they
cook up
take
the,
longer to cook then? Because usually the red lentils, the beauty of them is they take less time to cook. But since
yeah,
it
a
has
little
the
bit.
outside,
They're more like cooking green lentils, these,
mm,
you know. But when you like, kind of mush them, it's like red inside, the pink, whatever the cooked red lentils, that color. But these are great for, they hold their shape more. I was thinking I haven't made the, what did I pulled it out. I haven't made the vegan sloppy joes in a while. So I pulled out that recipe and I thought, oh, I'm going to use these brown lentils and make your sloppy joes this week. That's such a fun recipe. I
mm.
really like that one. So.
Well, we will definitely, as you guys know, we have classes on lentils and beans. I don't know if we do now, but we always have that because there's so much you can do with them. So fantastic.
Yeah, so hopefully that helped giving you a little bit of a clue. But if you want to, I mean, otherwise I would suggest just getting probably, if you live on this island, I would probably go to Down to Earth because they have a higher turnover in their bulk section, and buy their chickpeas from there. I'm not sure about buying like packaged chickpeas from somewhere like Safeway or Times, or I've never really tried that, how it works. So hopefully that's some advice that might help.
Absolutely. Great tips. Any other questions?
Yeah.
So we
Where we
kind of
start
wrap
round,
up.
yep. I know you might want, you can put your pretty bowl again.
My pretty bowl?
A pretty bowl of the vegetables. We can
Yeah,
end with
put it all
just
out,
show
and then
it,
I'll
put it all out so we can see it again. Yeah, so I hope you guys are motivated to try some of these salads. And yeah, there's so much. I have all these cans of chickpeas, and I keep thinking I'm going to use them, and then I don't. And now they just look so good. It looks great. Fantastic. And then move our dressing over a little bit, and I can get it all. There we go.
Yeah,
Perfect.
just do that
wow.
Yes.
Beautiful. Yep, and I was just putting in the chat too. I'm just curious, are you guys feeling like these are recipes you could make? Is it something you could see yourself being able to do? Yeah. Wow. That looks delicious and
Perfect.
healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice and easy.
Wonderful. Great. Thanks, Chef Alyssa.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
While we're wrapping up, I'm going to just pull up. I hate to take this away. I swear I'll put the colorful food back in just a moment. And I'm just going to bring back up our PowerPoint just to highlight a few things before we close out our time together today. So here's our great recipes. We went through our questions. So just a reminder, we hope to see you next month. We do this every month. We'll be here sharing new recipes, new things to try. So many times when we do, work with people, there's we get stuck in a rut, right? What can I eat? Oh, it's just salad with chicken on top or variations of salad. And then we kind of get like, oh, I can't eat one more of those that's so-called healthy. So what I love is that you get us out of the box, and just different ways that like, I never would have thought of this before. And look how brilliant that is. And look at those flavors. So thank you for all the inspiration. Next month, we'll be doing cooking with whole grains. So I'm curious to see what types of recipes we come up with that. And just a reminder that you don't have to do this alone. You can partner with our wellness coaches. Allison and I are wellness coaches. We have other folks on our team, and we'd be happy to walk alongside you on this wellness journey you're on. We can support you in any of these different areas, including healthy eating. So maybe you just need that person that's going to call you in a week and say, hey, did you make that recipe? Did you check out that, that ingredient at the grocery store? Did you try those chickpeas? Because sometimes we just need that little bit of accountability to get us the momentum going. So we're here for you with that. You can either book an appointment through the phone number here, 432-2260. Also available on kp.org. Just log in and go to the appointments section. And if you like this class, we hope you'll check out some of the other classes we offer as well. So every month we have a wide range of offerings. So you can see them here on the screen. This is for September. Culinary medicine is one of them, but lots of other great classes, right? Coping skills. If you want to make shifts for your whole family, I love that we have this healthy kids, healthy families, broken down by the age group of the kids in your family, so you can start to, model this and infuse it as a family value going forward. Or maybe you're trying to manage a specific condition like prediabetes or diabetes. We'd love to, make sure you have the information you need to confidently go forward. So thanks for Allison for putting that in the chat. And then that's it. So thank you to Chef Alyssa for being here
Thank
today and
you.
again just inspiring us. We
Yes.
can get so excited, right? And the next thing and different things to try. And thank you. I'll pat yourself on the back. Love to see a big group today just for being here and your willingness to try something new.
Exactly. And I can't believe it. We're down, come you guys, that we only have 3 more of these
I
classes, so we do
know.
September, I can't believe it. So 3 more of our healthy balance, culinary
So
medicine
used to that, yeah.
classes. So really hope we see you next month. Can't wait when you come back to let us know if you tried some of these great recipes. So
Yeah.
let's put her picture
Oh
back
yeah,
up.
let me take
Yeah,
this
let's
down and let's put the,
and let's finish with the beautiful food to feel inspired. You
oh,
guys,
look at that.
please go enjoy your evening before you kind of just jump into whatever is busy. Take a moment, pat yourself on the back. You're taking time to take care of your well being, your health, and hopefully the health of your family. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. Oh, and
Thanks,
Jonah
Chef
said,
Alyssa.
are
Yeah,
you not doing these classes next year? No,
we
we
will. We
likely
just,
will. We hope Chef Alyssa will stay with us.
I know.
Fun.
So yeah.
But I just mean for the year. I just can't believe when we're looking at September because we allow Chef Alyssa to have December because she's busy. She's got a whole things to do. So,
Yep.
yeah,
Busy sharing her talents with others as well. Yeah.
exactly. Yep. Have a
Uh,
great evening, you guys. Thanks for joining us.